Hi guys, I recorded a whole thing and I hated it, so we're starting over. Originally, I was gonna do a react thing to my old 2024 date video. It just ended up too long. Better at editing now. As I was watching it, I was like, could cut so much of this down. I haven't even written a script for this. Sorry in advance for the rambling. I typically start the year off with a big New Year's review. So I review the old year, 2024. Then I'll talk about the stuff you can expect from the channel this year. That's pretty much it. This is a pretty lame video and it never gets a lot of views. You'll have to excuse me. I will probably cough because I have just gotten over some sickness. There's that. There it is. Without further ado, let's dive in. I rewatched my other video. I'll put a link up here. There's lots of things about this that I hated. Quality-wise, I do feel like I've gotten better. Like my sound has definitely got better in the last 6 months because I finally figured out what I was doing wrong there. This year, one of the focuses outside of sound, since I've got sound pretty much figured out, is the lighting issue. As you can tell, there's just stuff I could do better. So that's one goal for 2025 is to just make that better in general. But my goal for 2024 was to have at least 44 videos out throughout the year. I exceeded that. I actually had 55. I wrote it down and I don't know where I wrote it down. 55 videos released last year. Some of them I don't think that includes live streams either. So there's that. So yay for me. The goal is to keep that up, one video a week. However, this year I'm also going to take more break from YouTube. Some of the time while I was doing content this last year, I felt like I wasn't being creative. I felt like I didn't have ideas. I thought I wasn't being helpful to the community, things like that. The main thing I do on this channel is help people. I want people to be able to use Foundry better, to run games better. The whole reason for my shop and my journals, it's to help people organize stuff so they can play tabletop games all the time and it's not as stressful and anxiety inducing. Taking a break in between lets me kind of come up with more ideas, recharge a little bit. The plan is to try to have at least a 1 week break with another kind of longer break towards the end of the year where I can, one, enjoy the holidays with my family like I got to do this last year, but also to curate ideas, which I actually didn't end up doing this last time because I got sick on the week that I was supposed to start making ideas. Content's probably going to be pretty much the same. However, I do have plans a little bit more Foundry stuff. I didn't do as much Foundry stuff last year, and part of that was because I was kind of tired of doing Foundry stuff. But now I'm like, there are some things with Foundry that I would like to do for my campaign. I would love to be able to share that with you guys. And also, one of the videos that did really well this last year was my giant GM help guide thing. I'll put a link somewhere on the screen. But it is one of the ones I still get comments on, and it is slightly dated now. Took me a ton of time. In fact, I can kind of tell, maybe no one else can tell, but I can tell halfway through the video filming, I'm getting more and more tired. I want to create more stuff like that for you guys. I also love my Drakkenheim series, even if it doesn't do very well. I love my little recaps. Try to keep on top of it. I always fall behind. Actually going to add to the recap category. I'm going to do some recaps for my West Marches campaign, which is starting in February. So if you are interested in that, join the Discord server. I'll put a link somewhere. It is called Shadows of Remnant because the world is called Remnant, and some other stuff that would be a spoiler. First session is actually going to be January 18th, which is super exciting. That's kind of a prequel to the campaign. I will be recording that, but that's going to be in that style, that Drakkenheim style, except I'm going to actually record the game and then put clips from the game in the recap. And I want to continue my West Marches behind the scenes, how to get people started in that. There's not a lot of that out there either, and how to use modern day tools. So I would like to share that as well. I think I pretty much met all my goals for YouTube last year, which is good. Shop things, not as much. I had plans to release a whole bunch of notebooks. The only notebook that I ended up releasing was the minimal one, which I do have right here. But I ended up getting swamped with the conventions and all of that stuff that I just ended up not having time to design as many things as I wanted. I also designed stickers, more stickers, and pins, which I also really love. I just didn't get to notebooks, and that's kind of disappointing. I would like to make more accessories for the notebooks, actually. And I'd also really like to do the Draw Steel notebook. I feel like their character sheets suck. I don't know if anybody's checked out the new backer pack. I actually have one here. But I am planning on making a notebook for that system because I think I would use it. I know a few people who would, and I think it's a big enough tabletop game that a lot of other people are going to play it too. And so I think it was a good step for me business-wise, because everybody always asks, are you gonna make one for this? Are you gonna make one for this? And it's really hard to do that because we're already a niche. You're asking me to get nichier? That one got me. So getting nichier means how many notebooks should I make? You know, do I spend 50 to 60 hours designing a notebook for it to only sell 5? You know, it doesn't even out. So I just have to be careful with that. That's why I made the minimal one. It does work with most tabletop RPGs. I took and tested 35 different tabletop games character sheets and tried to use the kind of more minimal version, and I could make them work pretty well with that. If you're wanting a notebook of mine, that's the best way to do it. I'll put a link. It's right here, actually. The alternative is to just make packs for other systems, which I also have thought of doing. The other big thing though with doing that is I have to go to each one and figure out if they have an OGL or some sort of creative license. Like Call of Cthulhu, you cannot remake their character sheets without getting an official thing from them. And I've messaged them a few times and nothing. I think I'm too small for them. I didn't really meet all my goals. However, I have new goals. I want to do the Draw Steel notebook. The other thing is the magazine, which just came in today. This camera is not doing it justice, but it's beautiful. So the magazine just came in today, and this is the first issue, and I need to do 3 more this year. So if you want to see more about this magazine, I'm gonna have a live stream next Friday where we flip through it together. You guys can take a look at it, ask me questions about it. My husband was like, you're gonna get it and you're gonna stroke it and pet it just like it is a dog. And I'm like, yes, but that's also because it has this matte finish on it. Anyway, art by Nadia Rausa. I don't know if that's how you say it. I'm so sorry, Nadia. She's amazing, and I'll put links to her on there. She made the cover for me. I commissioned her, and it's beautiful. I also found out I could do this with foil. It'd be more expensive, but she does a lot with foil, and I might have her do another cover for me. Anyway, more of those for the shop. Biggest update with the shop is that I actually lost my help. My sister actually gave her 2 weeks right before the end of the year. Her own business is taking off, which is fantastic. So her shop is called Wonko. If you really like fan art but cutesy wonky stickers, that's exactly what you get from her. And so she has moved on from Cantrips Media, which means I am now doing the production again and the packing of orders again. And before you ask, why aren't you hiring? Part of the reason I'm not hiring is I actually had a negative profit for the first time since Cantrips Media has existed, 5 years. It wasn't huge, a couple thousand, but it was still a negative profit. I can cite several reasons, and we could talk all about it if you want. Join as a member and I could talk about it in a members only stream. Kind of just works out that she quit because I probably would have had to cut her hours anyway. And so it actually ended up being perfect timing. I actually am going to move my business back into the basement. It feels very disappointing. Honestly, at first when I decided it, I realized it feels like a 2 steps back almost. At the same time, I don't mind that it is as small as it is. The problem is I have to shove essentially 50 to 60 hours of work into 4 days a week. Be kind to me in the next few months as I adjust my schedule and adjust to things. Hopefully I can keep up the YouTube videos. I think that will be the hardest part. One way to kind of support me and help me out, so I feel like the YouTube is more important, is to join the Patreon. And I'm going to add Patreon tiers for the magazine, so you can get some behind the scenes, you can help out, that kind of thing. I only ordered 50 for this first print, almost 12 of them away to collaborators who helped out with the magazine. So you're talking 35 to 40 is all I have of these. So if you want one, tune in next week because I will have links to it and everything. Biggest thing is getting the West Marches off the ground too. So doing the first session and hopefully opening signups right after the first session. I think that's all the quote unquote goals of the year. I didn't really analyze last year because honestly, it wasn't too bad, but the fact that I had negative profits makes me have a negative outlook on the year. I mean, I created a whole freaking magazine, so like it wasn't all bad, obviously. And the channel has grown. We're at like 5,000. At the beginning of last year, I hadn't even hit 2,000 or something, or I had like just barely hit 2,000 to where I was getting money from YouTube. So that's like crazy. And then the server has the Discord server has 300 people on it. That's also crazy to me. There's a lot of good things that happened last year, and I just know that if I look back too hard, I'm gonna look at all the negative things. I would rather feel like I'm in a good place and have a more positive outlook on it. So I'm not doing my usual, these are all the things I didn't do. I would like to just keep moving forward, and I feel like I have momentum. So let's do it. So I hope you like this video. I know it's like boring as all get out and is just like me chatting at you in a rambly fashion because I didn't script it. Well, I hope that this sets a good tone for the year for both you and for me. And I will see you guys next week for a live stream. Hopefully, I'll see you guys in the next one.